Let's continue with appeals, no? So for this video, tatapusin natin yung appeals, no? Sige. So, appeals in general, no? Alam naman natin na ang ina-appeal lang final judgment, final order. Hindi mo pwedeng i-appeal ang interlocutory order. At this point, alam naman na siguro natin 'yan, 'di ba? Kasi magbabar na tayong lahat. Okay. So, what are matters, no, that are not appealable? Yun yung nasa section 1 rule 41, no? Ang normaling na didiscuss dito o normaling natatakil dito, yung uh, interlocutory order as I've mentioned earlier, at saka yung order dismissing an action without prejudice. Yan yung normal na natatakil. Yan yung normal na na-apply sa mga actual situations, no? Yung dalawa na yan. Pero, syempre, I want all of us, no, maintindihan natin lahat ng nasa listahan na yan. No? We need to understand everything para covered natin yung lahat ng bases, no? Wala tayong na-skip na part para meron tayong full context ng section, no? So isa-isahin natin. I made an example, no? I made examples for all of the items, no, on this list, no, so that we can understand kung ano ba yung context ng each item. Okay, simulan natin sa una, no? An order denying a motion for new trial or reconsideration. Basic yan. Once a motion for new trial or reconsideration is denied, di ba? You appeal the judgment itself, not the order denying the motion. Okay? So what should be the remedy, no? Di ba? You appeal the judgment. Or, no, may isa pa dito, no, later on, petition for certiorari if there is grave abuse of discretion in the denial of the motion. Anyways, no, gawa natin na example. Mr. A filed an action against Mr. B. The RTC decided in favor of Mr. A. No, Mr. B filed a motion for reconsideration. The motion was denied. Can Mr. B appeal the denial of the motion? No. Mr. B cannot appeal the denial of the motion because the order denying a motion for new trial or reconsideration is not an appealable matter. Instead, Mr. B has two remedies, no? Namely, no, first, he should appeal the judgment of the RTC by filing a notice of appeal or, no, file a petition for certiorari to the higher court, no? If there was grave abuse of discretion, petition for certiorari under Rule 65 to the higher court if there was grave abuse of discretion in the denial of the motion. So, yan. Mababanggit natin later on to. This is the remedy kapag hindi pwede ang appeal. Ito ang remedy. Certiorari, no? Under Rule 65. Next, no? Mr. A filed an action against Mr. B. No? The RTC decided in favor of Mr. A. So, Mr. B filed a motion for consideration. The motion was granted. Yung example natin kanina, the motion was denied. Okay. Can Mr. A appeal the grant of the motion? Pwede bang i-appeal yung grant ng motion? Yes na yan. No. Sagutin lang natin kung ano yung nandito sa section 1. Wag na nating pahirapan pa. Wag yan ang sabihin na because the judgment was reversed and set aside, so there is a new judge. Wag nang ganun. There is a new resolution. Wag nang ganun ang sagot. Pag tinanong kayo ng ganito kasimple, ang sagot nyo, because an order granting a motion for reconsideration is not one of the items, is not one of the instances which are not appealable under Section 1 Rule 41. Ganun lang ang sagot. What is included in Section 1 Rule 41 is an order denying the motion for consideration. An order granting a motion for consideration is not one of the instances. So, it is an appealable matter. Ganun lang kasimple. Di ba? Ganun lang kasimple. Why? Tama nga naman. That order granting the motion, it also disposed of the case. At hindi siya kasali sa Section 1 Rule 41 sa listahan o di appealable. Yes ang sagot. Yes, Mr. A can appeal the grant of the motion because the order can appeal the order pala. Can appeal the order granting the motion. Yun. That's the proper term. Can appeal the order granting the motion. Because the order granting a motion for new trial or reconsideration is not one of the matters that cannot be appealed. Thus, it can be appealed. So that's simple. Next. Order denying a petition for relief or any similar motion seeking relief from judgment. Matatakel po natin itong later. No? Petition for relief under Rule 38. Petition for relief, basic lang tayo. This is the remedy ng petitioner after the case has become final and executory. Ito ang remedy. Later on, tatakil natin siya in full. No? So, tingnan natin yung example. Mr. A filed an action against Mr. B. The RTC decided in favor of Mr. A. This decision became final and executory on January 2, 2023. On January 5, 2023, Mr. B came to know that a judgment was rendered against him. Thus, on February 1, 2023, Mr. B filed a petition for relief from judgment against Mr. A with the same court that tried the same case. Malalaman niya later on, ganyan yung wording. Okay. On January 10, 2024, the RTC dismissed the petition filed by Mr. B. On January 15, 2024, Mr. B came to know of the dismissal of the petition. Thus, on January 20, 2024, Mr. B filed a notice of appeal with the RTC. With the RTC, tama, ano? For the reversal of the dismissal of the petition. What is the proper remedy for the reversal of the dismissal of the petition? So, tama po ba na nag-appeal si Mr. B? Mali, no? An order denying a petition for relief from judgment is not an appealable matter. Instead, the proper remedies, no, of Mr. B. The proper remedy na lang. Is to file, yan na lang. To file a petition for certiorari under Rule 65 with the CA in case there was grave abuse of discretion. Mas maganda to pag ganyan na lang. Yep. See? Okay. Actually, lagyan na rin natin. Sige. Either, okay naman. Okay. Proper remedy is to file a petition for certiorari ulit under Rule 65. No? Okay. Okay. Let's go. Next, no? Mr. A filed an action against Mr. B. The RTC decided in favor of Mr. A. The decision became final and executory on January 2, 2023. Same lang ulit yung facts. On January 5, he came to know of the judgment. So, no February 1, Mr. B filed a petition for relief from judgment. On January 10, 2024, the RTC granted the petition filed by Mr. B. On January 15, 2024, Mr. A came to know of the dismissal of the petition. On January 2024, Mr. A filed a notice of appeal with the RTC for the reversal of the grant of the petition. What is the proper remedy against the grant of the petition? Kung makikita niyo po dito kanina, dismissed yung petition. Dito sa pangalawa, na example, granted ang petition. What's the proper remedy? Granted yung petition for relief from judgment. No? An order denying a petition for relief or any similar motion seeking relief from judgment is not appealable. However, an order granting a petition for relief or any similar motion seeking relief from judgment is not one of the orders granting the petition for relief. Is not one of the orders that cannot be appealed. In other words, the order granting the petition for relief from judgment is appealable. Thus, the proper remedy of Mr. B is to file a notice of appeal with the RTC. Nakita niyo po yung pagkakaiba. Kaya we need to be meticulous when we read the caudal. Order granting a petition for relief from judgment, pwede mong i-appeal. Which is tama. Kasi yung judgment talaga, set aside yan eh. Diba? Na-set aside yung judgment eh. Pag naman na-deny yan, hindi ka pwede mag-appeal. Sinabi na rin kasi ng Section 1 Rule 41. So, petition for certiorari in case there is grave abuse of discretion or there was grave abuse of discretion in denying the petition. Denial, petition for relief from judgment. Okay. Pag granting, appealable. Okay? Okay, let's go to interlocutory orders, no? So, alam niyo na dapat to, what is an interlocutory order, 'di ba? It is an order that does not completely dispose the case, basically, no? So, ayan lang yun eh, 'di ba? Section 1, Rule 41, what does it say? An appeal may be taken from a judgment or final order that completely disposes of the case. O di, a final judgment is a judgment or a final order is an order that completely disposes of the case. That's it. What's an interlocutory order? It's an order that does not completely dispose the case. Ganun lang kasimple. So, pag na-deny ang motion to dismiss, that's an interlocutory order. Kasi it does not completely dispose the case. Okay, sige. Anyway, punta tayo, no? Mr. A filed an action against Mr. B after the service of the answer of Mr. B. Mr. A filed a motion for leave of court to amend the complaint. The trial granted the motion. Can Mr. B appeal the order of the trial court? No. Mr. A cannot appeal the order of the trial court because the grant of the motion for leave of court to amend the complaint is an interlocutory order. Instead, di ba, kung may grave abuse of discretion, mag-MR ka and then petition for certiorari ulit under Rule 65. Next example. Mr. A filed an action against B. Same lang. Mahilig ako sa ganyan, no? Kinatwist ko lang ng konti yung facts. After the service of the answer of Mr. B, Mr. A filed a motion for leave of court to amend the complaint. The trial court in this time, no, denied the motion. Can Mr. B appeal the order of the trial court? Hindi pa din. Kasi it's an interlocutory order still. Okay. So, hindi po pwedeng i-appeal yan. Ngayon, magdagdag tayo freestyle natin. Sige. Mr. A filed an action against Mr. B. Okay. Mr. B filed a motion to dismiss on the ground of, sabihin natin, prescription. The trial court granted the motion. Should what's the proper remedy of Mr. A? Mr. A must appeal the order of the trial court in dismissing, no, the action based on prescription. Because it is a dalawang reason. Due to the following reasons. Number one, the order completely disposed of the case. The order completely disposed of the case. The order dismissing, ayan. Dismissing the action completely disposed of the case. And number two, it is a dismissal with prejudice. A dismissal based on prescription. A dismissal based on prescription is a dismissal with prejudice. The trial court granted the motion, thus, no, the action was dismissed. Ayan. Next. Naglagay na ako ng another, no? Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, interlocutory order saka dismissal with prejudice ang magka-partner lagi kasi sila yung nako-correlate madalas, no? Okay, so kopyahin ko lang, oh. Ganyan ako gumawa ng facts, ng example. Ayan. Denied. Napalitan ko lang. Would the answer be different? Mr. A, yes. Magiging iba yung sagot, no? The action proceeded. Paglatin pala. Ayan. Mr. A must file a motion for reconsideration. And once it is dismissed tuloy, denied, he must file a petition for certiorari under Rule 65 with the higher court in case there was grave abuse of discretion. Due because na lang. Because an order denying a motion to dismiss is an interlocutory order. Ganun kasimple. Gapa pa tayo ng isa pang example. Copy-paste. Palitan natin yung ground. Gawin nating lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter. Ito na may sagot. Mr. A must file a motion for consideration then. And once it is denied, he must file a petition for certiorari under Rule 65 with the higher court in case there was a grave abuse of discretion. Because an order granting, ayan, because the dismissal lang was without prejudice. Ano? Yun. Okay. So, let's recap, no? Itong una, nag-file ng action si B. B filed a motion to dismiss on the ground of prescription. Nag-grant yung motion. The action was dismissed. Malamang kasi prescribed daw eh. What's the proper remedy of Mr. A? The proper remedy of Mr. A is to appeal. Why? Kasi yung dalawang relevant na item sa listahan natin hindi po applicable dito sa facts at hand. Unang-una, ano yung notable? Ano yung mai-relate nating item sa listahan? Yung order, interlocutory order, di ba? So, is this order by the court an interlocutory order? No. It's a final order kasi nga dismiss na yung kaso. Next, na pwede nating i-apply na relate na ano yung related na item sa Section 1 Rule 41 na pwede nating i-apply dito sa facts. Dismissal without prejudice. Pag ba na-dismiss ang kaso based on prescription, with or without prejudice? With prejudice. Without prejudice, pag di ba, ang nakalagay po sa listahan without prejudice eh. So since the dismissal is with prejudice or was with prejudice, and it is a final order, not an interlocutory order, it can be appealed to the higher court. Or it can be appealed na lang, wala na to the higher court. It can be appealed. No? Okay, next. Mr. A filed, ba't pa file? Filed. Mr. A filed an action against Mr. B. Ayan. Mr. B filed a motion to dismiss on the ground of prescription. The trial court denied the motion. What's the proper remedy of Mr. A? Pag denial, napakasimple. Kasi pag deny, automatic interlocutory order yan. Automatic, di ba? Dinay yung motion to dismiss, edi proceed tayo sa kaso. What's the proper remedy of Mr. A? Edi mag-MR ka kung hindi mag-grant yung MR mo o di mag-petition for certiorari ka under Rule 65 with the higher court in case there's grave abuse of discretion. Kasi nga interlocutory order ang denial. Pero ang grant ng motion to dismiss, that's a final order. Ang pinagkakataluhan dyan, kung with or without prejudice yung grant. Di ba? Okay, so ayan, no, natagal na natin yan. Sana malinaw po. Itong last one. Nag-file ulit ng action. Motion to dismiss based on lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter. The trial court granted the motion. Granted daw, sabi. O the action was dismissed. Nag-grant yung motion eh. Di ba? What's the proper remedy of Mr. A? Pwede bang appeal? Hindi po pwede ang appeal. Yes, tama nga namang final order to. Tama nga namang final order. Pero doon tayo sa pangalawang relatable item o yung related item, relatable. Yung pangalawang related item, doon tayo nagmintis. Di ba dito nga ang batayan natin, interlocutory ba o final order? Lagay natin dito. Interlocutory order versus final order. And dismissal without prejudice versus dismissal with prejudice. O, dito sa last example natin. Oh, tama nga naman kasi nag-grant yung motion, dismiss yung kaso. That's a final order. Tapos tanggal na sa docket yan, di ba? Pero pwede mo bang i-appeal yan to the higher court? Hindi, kasi doon tayo sa pangalawang test, no? O sa pangalawang analysis, doon tayo nagmintis. Hindi mo pwedeng i-appeal kasi nga the dismissal was without prejudice. A dismissal is with prejudice if it's an adjudication on the merits. Di ba? Pag dismissal without prejudice, not an adjudication on the merits. What do we mean when we say on the merits? Doon na talaga sa stance na ng mga parties. Hindi na sa technicalities. Doon na sa substance. Yun. When you say something was adjudicated on the merits, it was adjudicated based on the substance of the evidence, di ba? Of both parties. When you say something is adjudicated that not on the merits, technicalities yung dismissal. In this case po, technicalities yung dismissal kasi nga based on lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter lang na-dismiss. Diba? Pag sinabi mo kasing prescription, on the merits yan kasi nakita mo ni substance eh. Diba? Anong pagkakaiba pag hindi to technicality? Ito sa cause of action na talaga. Sa lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter, throwback na lang tayo. Diba? May cause of action ka, pwedeng meron, pwedeng wala. Pero madidismiss yan kasi hindi mo finalo yung BP 129. Pero when you say something was dismissed on the ground of prescription, substance na yan. Talaga nga namang wala ng cause of action. O, di ba? That's the difference. Kaya siya, dismissal with prejudice yung third example natin dito. So, pwede kang mag-appeal kasi final order at saka dismissal with prejudice. Yung fourth example, hindi ka pwede mag-appeal kasi it's an interlocutory order, yung fourth one. Yung fifth one, hindi ka pwede mag-appeal dahil final order nga siya, pero dismissal without prejudice naman. Kasi nga, it was dismissed based on technicalities, not based on the substance of the parang contention. Diba? O evidence of both parties. Ganun lang po yan kasimple. It's not supposed to be, it shouldn't be, shouldn't be too complex, too difficult para sa atin. No? And I suggest ganyan yung, anyway, I'm here naman, no, to guide you sa mga ganito. Pero ang gusto ko sana, pag gumagawa kayo ng illustration sa sarili nyo, i-twist nyo lang ng konti lagi yung facts. Twist it ng konti, nag-iiba yung sagot. No? Huwag yung masyadong may dalawang instances, tapos yung example nyo sa parehong instance, sa dalawang instances na yon sobrang unrelated. Diba? Compliance lang yung ginawa nyo, hindi nyo talaga na-acquire yung mastery of the topic. Kasi hindi nyo makukuha yung parang limit ba o yung parang defining, parang ano ba yun? Dividing line between yes at saka between no, between appeal and between petition for certiorari. kung hindi sobrang related ng examples nyo, how can you see the line between appeal and certiorari? You cannot. Kasi pag yung examples nyo, two separate, unrelated examples, you have two lines. You don't have one line. Two lines yan, and they are totally unrelated. How can you understand kung kailan magiging pula o kailan magiging puti yung sagot nyo? Hindi nyo alam. Diba? Eh kung one line lang talaga, like yan, how do you have one line? Pareho lang halos yung example. Iniiba lang nyo lang ng konti yung one word or couple of words. O you have one line, nakikita mo kailan magiging yes, kailan magiging no. Kailan magiging appeal, kailan magiging certiorari. Yan yung ginagawa ko lagi kung mapapansin nyo. Kaya mahaba yung discussion. Not because gusto ko lang ng maraming ibinabato na facts sa inyo o binabato ng mga cases sa inyo. Hindi dahil doon. Humahaba kasi nga sinusuri talaga natin yung yung line na sinasabi ko between one side and the other side. Okay? So ito nga tatlo di ba? Minsan ganyan, no? Tatlong senaryo. Okay. Anyways, gets nyo naman na yun, no? Okay. So next tayo, order disallowing or dismissing an appeal. The context of this is ordinary appeal, no? Pag na-disallow po yung notice of appeal mo, na-dismiss, sabihin natin, RTC ka, nag-notice of appeal ka sa RTC, so akit sa CA yan, hindi pwedeng notice of appeal din ang remedy mo from CA to the Supreme Court. Ang remedy mo na is petition for review on certiorari under Rule 45. Yan ang context ng order disallowing or dismissing an appeal. Okay? Hindi kasi, yun, no? So, pag naman nag-ordinary appeal ka from MTC to RTC, na-dismiss yung appeal na yun, hindi ka mag-ordinary appeal ulit. May file mo, petition for review under Rule 40, under Rule 42, no? Under Rule 42. To the Court of Appeals. Yun lang yan, no? So, okay na yan. We're good with that. Okay, we're good with that. Okay na itong order denying a motion to set aside a judgment by consent, confession, or compromise sa amicable settlement on the ground of fraud. Okay. Kasi yan, pag kasi nagkaroon po ng compromise, amicable settlement, another word for that, ibibigay po sa court yan, tapos yung court, i-dismiss yung kaso because there was a judgment on the compromise na. So ngayon, later on, magkakaroon ng execution stage yan, magkakaroon ng rate of execution yan to execute yung amicable settlement. Something like that, no? Eh ngayon, halimbawa, nagkaroon na ng judgment on the compromise, tapos biglang itong isa, nagba-back out. Motion to set aside po yung judgment on the compromise. Kasi niloko lang po ako nung defendant, sabihin natin. Dinena yung order na yun. Dinena yung motion na yun. So there was an order denying the motion to set aside, sabihin natin, the judgment on the compromise based on fraud. Dinenay ng court. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-appeal. Alam nyo kung bakit? Kasi final and executory na yung judgment. Nung nagkaroon ng judgment on the compromise, that is a final and executory judgment. Hindi pwedeng magpa-file ka ng motion, tapos yung order denying the motion, i-appeal mo ulit. Kasi pag in-appeal mo ulit yun, tatakbo na naman yung kaso. Eh di ba final and executory judgment na nga beforehand? Hindi na natapos yung kaso. So your remedy is to file a motion for reconsideration and once it's denied, petition for certiorari under Rule 65 with the higher court. No? Kasi wala nang ending yung kaso. Diba? Eh, nagkaroon na nga ng ending. Yun lang yan. Pareho ito at saka yung order, hindi lang pareho. Similar itong order denying a motion to set aside na to. At saka yung order denying yung petition for relief from judgment. Ito. Yan. Pareho yan. Kasi sabihin natin, o di nagkaroon ng final and executory judgment, nag-file ng petition for relief yung defendant, na-deny yung petition. So, nagkaroon ng order denying the petition. Hindi pwedeng i-appeal mo ulit kasi tapos na nga yung kaso. Tapos na eh. Di ba? So, pag mag-a-appeal ka pa, di na natapos. Di ba? So, ang remedy mo nga is certiorari ulit, hindi appeal. No? Okay. Order of execution, same thing. Pag nag-order of execution, hindi pwedeng i-appeal mo na naman yung order of execution. Kasi hindi na naman matatapos yung kaso. May final and executory judgment na eh. What's the remedy in this scenario? Iba naman po. The proper remedy against pala, di pala for, against an order of execution is to file a motion to quash. Pala. Remedy against the writ pala. The writ of execution. Yan. Is to file a motion to quash with the trial court that enforced the final and executory decision. Okay? If the motion to quash is denied, the next remedy is to file a motion for reconsideration. Once the motion for reconsideration is filed, petition for certiorari under Rule 65 ulit with the higher court. Okay? Ayos tayo. Same thing lang ng tema ito at saka itong order of execution. Kasi pag pinayagan mo pa mag-appeal, di na natapos yung kaso. Eh, akala ko ba tapos na? Final and executory na yung judgment. Iisa ka na naman, di ba? Kaya hindi na-appeal ang remedy for that. No? For this. Okay. A judgment or final order for or against one or more of several parties or in separate claims. Pag sinabi mong several parties, ang context niyan, tatlo o mahigit pa ang parties. Isang plaintiff, dalawang defendant. Pag isang plaintiff, isang defendant lang, hindi several parties yun. No? Hindi. Several parties, 3 or more. Okay? Or in separate claims. So maraming claims. No? Counterclaims, cross-claims, etc. While the main case is pending. Okay? So example tayo. Mr. A filed an action against B and C. The trial court rendered a judgment against B. Can B appeal the judgment already? No. As a general rule, hindi pwede. No? Unless the court allows an appeal therefrom. So, kailangan hihingi ka ng abiso sa court, probably motion yan, na mag-a-appeal ka na kahit na pending pa yung kaso. Kasi meron pang ibang mga claims na di nasisettle o iba pang mga parties na hindi pa na-adjudicate yung kanilang liability, no? Okay, no, Mr. B cannot appeal the judgment because a judgment against one of several defendants while the main case is pending is not an appealable matter. Instead, Mr. B has the following remedies. No? One, he can wait for the final disposition of the main case, which is after the judgment was rendered for or against Mr. C, then file a notice of appeal with the trial court. Number two, file a motion for reconsideration with the trial court, and once it is denied, file a petition for certiorari under 65 with the higher court. May isa pa. And number three, seek the approval or seek the allowance of the court. File a motion na lang. File a motion with the same court, no? Praying for the allowance of appeal while the main case is pending. File a motion with the same court with the trial court na lang. And pray for the allowance of the appeal yan while the main case is pending as provided under Rule 41 din. No? And lastly, ito na po, no, order dismissing an action without prejudice. No? So, natakal na natin yung karamihan dito sa taas kanina. No? So, ganun lang ulit dito. Lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter, na deny yung motion, hindi ka pwedeng mag-appeal kasi interlocutory order. Kasi nga denial of the motion eh. Actually, dapat pala pinagdugtong ko tong without prejudice talaga sa interlocutory order. No? Kasi talagang magkakambal sila eh. Kapatid, no? Okay. Isa naman, lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter. Nag-grant ang motion, pwede bang mag-appeal? Hindi din. Kasi nga, without prejudice yung dismissal. Pag prescription, nailagay ko na rin pala rito, dinena yung motion, hindi ka rin pwede mag-appeal kasi nga interlocutory order. Tandaan nyo, pag dinena yung motion to dismiss, hindi mo pwedeng i-appeal kasi interlocutory order. Pero pag ginrant yung motion to dismiss, Minsan pwedeng i-appeal, minsan hindi pwedeng i-appeal. At yun ay magkakatalo sa with or without prejudice ba yan? Okay, so next topic tayo, no? Remedy against judgments and orders which are not appealable. Yan nga, petition for certiorari under Rule 65. At pag ginamit mo yung Rule 65, mag-MR ka muna. Diba? Alam nyo na dapat yan. Kasi nga, MR is a plain, speedy, and adequate remedy. So bago ka mag-Rule 65 to the higher court, MR muna. O pag dinala yung MR at saka ka lang aakyat. Okay. Okay, no. Modes of appeal na tayo. There are 3 modes of appeal, no? Ordinary appeal, petition for review, and petition for review on certiorari o yung tinatawag nilang appeal by certiorari. Okay, so sa ordinary appeal, may dalawang governing rules dyan. Rule 40 and 41. Sa petition for review, 42 and 43. Sa petition for review on certiorari or appeal by certiorari, Rule 45. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yan, no? 5 rules yan. So, Rule 40, ano to? Tandaan nyo, MTC to the RTC. Okay. Where do you file? Well, first pala, before pala where, what do you file muna? Okay. So, what do you file? Pag sa Rule 40, notice of appeal or notice of appeal and record on appeal. Tandaan niyo yan ha, baka kasi iba, ang pagkakaintindi nila, kapag ordinary civil action, sabihin natin, notice of appeal, tapos pag special proceeding na may multiple stages, record on appeal lang ipa-file. O record on, no, mali yun, no? Tandaan nyo, kapag ordinary civil action, notice of appeal. Kapag multiple appeals, allowed. Example is special proceeding, settlement of estate, multiple ano yan. Multiple appeals are allowed kasi may numerous stages ang settlement of estate. No, yung appointment of administrator, no? Yung sa claims against the estate and so on and so forth, no? Maraming stages and each stage can be appealed. How do you appeal that? File a notice of appeal and record on appeal. Hindi lang po record on appeal. Okay, so saan po ifa-file ang kaso? Ang appeal. Where do you file the notice of appeal? Where do you file the notice of appeal and record on appeal? You file sa MTC din. Okay? And then ang MTC ang mag-aakyat ng kaso ng record sa RTC. You file it same court. Okay? Rule 41, same principles lang din pero RTC naman ang original court dito. So ipa-file mo yan RTC, yung notice of appeal o yung notice of appeal and record on appeal. And then iaakyat later on ang records, iaakyat later on ang kaso sa Court of Appeals. Pero ipa-file mo yan, wag tandaan niyo ha, wag niyo ipa-file yung notice of appeal sa CA. Dismiss yun. Walang ganun, no? No such thing. Okay, so sa petition for review naman tayo. Okay, petition for review naman, no? Rule 42 and Rule 43, no? So, ang Rule 42, MTC, RTC, CA ang senaryo dyan, no? MTC acted in the exercise of its original exclusive jurisdiction. Later on, sabihin natin, action for damages, no? Torts and damages, tapos in the amount, ang demand is 1.5 million. O nanalo yung plaintiff, mag-a-appeal yan to the regional trial court. Mag-a-appeal yan to the regional trial court. Ano yung mode of appeal? Rule 40. Okay. So ngayon nasa regional trial court na. The regional trial court is now acting in the exercise of its original appellate jurisdiction. Original appellate jurisdiction. O ngayon sabihin natin, yung appeal, panalo ulit yung plaintiff. What's the next remedy of the defendant? So what's the next remedy of the appellant in this case? Hindi na siya defendant. What's the next remedy of the appellant? The appellant must file a petition for review under Rule 42. Where will we file the petition for review? Under Rule 42. Sa RTC ba? Or sa Court of Appeals? Tandaan nyo, pag petition for review ang title, whether 42 or 43, ifa-file mo yan sa higher court. Ang notice of appeal, ifa-file mo yan sa original court. Okay? Notice of appeal, ifa-file. Pag sa MTC nanggaling ang kaso, ifa-file mo yung notice of appeal sa MTC. Kung ang kaso nanggaling sa RTC, ifa-file mo ang notice of appeal sa RTC. Kung Rule 42 yan, so MTC, RTC, you want to appeal the decision of the RTC, your remedy is to file a petition for review with the Court of Appeals. Sa higher court mo siya ipa-file. Okay? Yun po ang pagkakaiba. Okay? Sa where will you file the petition? Sa taas dapat. Okay? That's why, nabanggitin ko na rin, that's why ang petition for review, kailangan po ng certification against forum shopping. Why? Kasi nga, bagong court yung pagpa-filean mo. Ang notice of appeal, same court. So, di mo kailangan ng certification against forum shopping. Okay? Sana po malinaw, no? At saka ang petition for review, under Rule 42 and 43, ayan po ito. Both scenarios, both instances, Court of Appeals ang appellate court. Okay? Sa Rule 40, sa ordinary appeal, pwedeng ang appellate court mo, RTC, pwedeng appellate court mo, Court of Appeals. For Rule 40, RTC ang appellate court. For Rule 41, CA. 42 and 43, both instances, CA ang appellate court. Okay. So, punta tayo sa Rule 43. How does this apply? How does Rule 43 apply? From quasi-judicial agency. Pero tandaan niyo, pag sinabing quasi-judicial agency, hindi palaging CA. May mga pagkakataon na hindi po dapat Court of Appeals. No? Example is, ito nga, di ba, Civil Service Commission. E di yung dalawang independent branches pa. Independent branches. Yung dalawa pang independent branches, I'm sorry. Iba pang constitutional commissions. Ang COMELEC at saka COA, never pupunta ng CA yung kaso. From civil service, CA, Rule 43. Pag COMELEC, COA, Supreme Court. So, hindi po palagi, no? So, basahin din po natin yung enumeration sa Rule 43. Kung ano man yung mga nakalagay dyan, no? Kung basta CSC ang gusto ko talaga i-highlight kasi we need to delineate the difference between Civil Service Commission at saka COA and COMELEC. Kasi na-mention din po sa syllabus nyo na itackle daw yung appeals along with Rule 64. No, nakalagay po sa syllabus nyo eh. Sabayan siya itatackle, no? Hindi inilagay yung Rule 64 sa special civil action. Inilagay po Rule 64 sa civil procedure talaga. Which leads me to think na pwede kayong tanungin dito. Kasi baka gustong i-highlight ng bar chair natin o ng examiners natin yung pagkakaiba ng Civil Service Commission at saka ng COA and COMELEC with respect to the appropriate remedies. Paano mo iaakyat ang kaso? Okay? Sige. Sana po malinaw, no? Tandaan nyo, never, pag COA, COMELEC, never Court of Appeals. Civil Service Commission lang po. Okay? Sige. Basahin na rin po natin ibang mga quasi-judicial agencies as provided under Section 1 Rule 43. Kasi dyan lang naman ikot yung tanong dyan sa mga bodies na yan. No? Sa mga agencies na yan. Hindi naman kayo tatanungin ng iba pang mga bodies na wala dyan kasi hindi naman siya assigned sa syllabus eh. No? Hindi na kayo pahihirapan ng, well, ganun kahirap, no? Okay. Let's move, no? Let's move. So, ulit, no? Sa Rule 43, i-file the petition for review not with the quasi-judicial agency but with the Court of Appeals. So, kailangan ulit siya ng certification against forum shopping. Also, kailangan i-verify yan. Petition for review, 42 and 43. Kailangan din ng verification. Okay, let's go to the last, no? 1, Rule 45, petition for review on certiorari, no? So ito po, questions of law. Alam naman natin 'yan, di ba? Questions of law, and the appellate court is the Supreme Court. And the petition for review on certiorari must be filed with the Supreme Court. Kailangan ng certification against forum shopping and verification din 'yan. Okay? So, paano pag MTC? Tapos gusto mag-appeal ng defendant pero pure questions of law lang. Ano ang appellate court? Sino ang appellate court? Supreme Court na agad. Same thing po sa RTC. Hindi pwedeng RTC tapos ang original court mo, tapos magsi-CA ka, pero question of law lang naman ang i-raise mo. Pag RTC ang original court, and you want to raise pure questions of law sa iyong appeal, as the appellant, kailangan i-file mo yung kaso, yung petition for review, yung petition mo sa Supreme Court na. Petition for review and certiorari. Okay? Sige. Anyway, we will tackle this further, no, as we go along. Okay, so a question of fact exists when the doubt arises as to the truth or falsity of the alleged facts. Question of law exists, no, when there is doubt as to what the law is on a certain state of facts. To simplify, ganito lang. For question of law, there is no dispute as to what the facts of the case are. Ganun lang. Question of law yan, pag wala tayong problem, wala tayong issue kung ano man yung facts ng kaso. No? Likely nagkaroon na ng admission yung defense as to the facts. Ang problema na lang natin, yung application ng jurisprudence ng law based on the agreed or the admitted facts. On the other hand, sa question of fact, there is a dispute as to what the facts of the case are. Examples. No? Simplihin natin. Dalawang example po ng issue of fact or question of fact. No? There is an issue, there is a question as to whether the contract of loan exists. This is a question of fact kasi there's a dispute as to whether may contract of loan ba talaga. No? So sabi ni plaintiff, may contract of loan. Sabi ni defendant, wala. Sabi ni plaintiff, may pinirmahan sila. Sabi ni defendant, wala. That is a question of fact. Okay? There is an issue as to whether a stipulated interest on the contract of loan exists. So, pwedeng inamin na may contract of loan talaga. Pero ang problema nila, sabi ni plaintiff, may interest kami pinag-agrihan. Sabi ni defendant, wala. No? Wala po kaming stipulated interest. Hindi po totoo na nagkaroon ng agreement kami as to the interest. Kasi ang agreement po namin, ibabalik ko yung pera kung kailan ko na kaya. Diba? So, friendly. Friendly yung loan, no? In terms ng loan, yun ang sabi ng defendant. That is also a question of fact. That is also a question of fact. Kasi, ang problem natin, hindi yung existence ng contract of loan. Wala tayong problema doon. Inamin naman ni defendant na meron talagang loan. Ang problem natin, may interest ba? That is also a question of fact. Diba? O ngayon, bibigyan ko kayo ng question of law na example. There is no issue as to whether the contract of loan and the stipulated interest exist. Wala pong issue. May loan, may stipulated interest. Ang issue natin, eto bang interest na to, there is an issue if the stipulated interest is exorbitant or excessive. That is a question of law. Wala tayong problema kung magkano inutang, kung may utang ba, at magkano ang interest sa utang. Admitted lahat. Ang sinasabi ni defendant, ang issue niya, exorbitant po yung loan. So, dapat yan, void. Diba? So, ano ang magiging suma total dyan? Magkakaroon ng interest, legal interest lang. Diba? So ano yan? This is a question of law. In order to determine if a stipulated interest is exorbitant or excessive, we just have to check what jurisprudence states based on this certain state of facts. O tangent lang tayo ng konti sa credit transaction. Based on jurisprudence, ang 2% per month na interest pwede, hindi siya exorbitant. Pero pag nag 3% yan, exorbitant na yan. Okay? So 1%, 2%, okay. Pag nag 3%, based on jurisprudence, exorbitant na siya. So 24% pwede ka pa, no? So halos 1/4, di ba? Per year pwede. More than that, not allowed. Tandaan nyo. So, o di ba, wala tayong problema kung ano yung facts. Walang problema. Ang problema natin, dapat ba i-cancel yan based on what jurisprudence states? That is a question of law. Okay, so with that being said, sa Rule 40 ba, ano ang pwedeng erase? Sa Rule 41 ba, ano pwedeng erase? Sa Rule 42 ba, ano pwedeng erase? 43, 45. Sa 41 po, tandaan nyo, question of fact or mixed questions of fact and law. An ordinary appeal should not raise pure questions of law. Tandaan nyo yan. So, dahil po sabi rin sa Republic v. Ortigas that an ordinary appeal should not raise pure questions of law, ibig sabihin sa Rule 40 same din. Rule 40 and Rule 41, questions of fact or mixed questions of fact and law. Kapag pure questions of law yan, hindi ka dapat nag-ordinary appeal kahit nagaling pa sa MTC yung kaso mo. Pag pure questions of law lang i-raise mo as an appella, Supreme Court ka agad. Okay? If the aggrieved party will only raise or purely raise questions of law, purely raise, will only raise or will solely raise pure questions of law, proper remedy is to file a petition for review to the Supreme Court under Rule 45. Okay. Rule 40, same thing. Rule 42, based po ito sa BP 129, no? BP 129 to. The decision of the RTC in the exercise of its appellate jurisdiction appealable by petition for review to the Court of Appeals. Paano, no? Paano? Ano pala ang pwede mo erase? Committed an error of fact or law. Sabi po sa BP 129. Error of fact or law. So that means pag Rule 42, pwedeng pure questions of fact, pwedeng pure questions of law, pwede ring mixed questions of fact and law. How does Rule 42 apply? The RTC decided in the exercise of its appellate jurisdiction and you want to appeal this decision by the RTC. Use Rule 42 for this scenario. Ang Rule 41, the RTC rendered a judgment in the exercise of its original jurisdiction, original exclusive jurisdiction, and then you want to appeal this decision through Rule 41, Notice of Appeal. Okay, so I hope titingnan niyo po sa facts pag natanong tong question na to, ang basic question dyan sa inyo, what's the proper remedy? So tingnan nyo lang po sa facts, meron bang MTCing pinagsimulan or walang MTCing pinagsimulan, RTC agad ang original exclusive, ang original court. Pag original court yan talaga, RTC, your remedy is notice of appeal. O pag may pinagsimulang MTC, Rule 42. Next level na mas mahirap, what questions can be raised? Ito na yan, sinabi ko na sa inyo. Okay? Rule 43, Section 3, Rule 43, no? Ang sabi po dyan, pwedeng questions of law, questions of fact, mixed questions of fact and law. So, kung mapapansin nyo po, sa Rule 40 and 41, pwede ang fact, pwede ang mixed questions, bawal ang pure questions of law. Sa Rule 42 and 43, pwede kahit ano. Fact, law, mixed questions, pwede. Pero sa Rule 45, ito na tayo, alam nyo na dapat to. Dapat questions of law lang. Okay? Questions of law lang. By the way, hindi ko na po nilagay dito sa reviewer natin yung mga exceptions. Okay? Kasi yung mga exceptions na yan, these are nagkaroon po ng exemptions because the Supreme Court relaxed the procedural rules, no? Na-relax niya. So, kung matatanong kayo sa bar exams ng exemptions, likely pwede kayong tanungin sa enumeration type, enumeration style. Enumerate 3 instances where a petition where questions of fact can be heard and resolved in a petition for review and certiorari. Something like that. In my opinion, hindi kayo tatanungin ng what do you call this? Hindi kayo tatanungin ng hypo question tapos ang kailangan nyo i-apply yung exceptions. Alam nyo kung bakit? Kasi hindi naman po kayo kasi nga, as I said, Supreme Court lang po ang nakakapag-relax ng procedure. And hindi kayo matatanong ng bar question na sabihin sa inyo, assuming that you're a justice of the Supreme Court, that's not gonna happen. Kung matatanong man kayo sa bar exam, tatanungin kayo as the trial court judge, ganun. Or as the judge, how would you decide? Mga ganyan. Pag judge, pag hindi Supreme Court justice, syempre, the judge must apply the general rule kasi wala namang power ang judge or ang Court of Appeals Justice to relax the procedure. Diba? We apply kung ano yung sinasabi ng rules, ng provisions. Basic. Ang sabi, pag petition for review and certiorari, questions of law lang. Pag hindi po questions of law ang ni-raise mo, nag-raise ka ng questions of fact, patay tayo. Pwedeng ma-dismiss ang appeal. Okay? So, yun po ang itatatak nyo sa isip nyo. Okay? For the purposes of the bar, no? Pag nag-raise ng questions of fact sa petition for review and certiorari, sabihin mo, pwedeng i-dismiss. The petition may be dismissed, no? Because the petition raised questions of fact. Okay? So, in violation siya ng rules. Okay? So, sana po malinaw. No? Hayaan nyo muna yung exceptions as I said. Hayaan nyo muna yun. Okay? Kasi nga, that's relaxation of procedure. And you do not relax unless you are a justice of the Supreme Court. Okay. Summary, no? Just read na lang. Period of appeal tayo, 15 days sa lahat, except record on appeal at saka notice of appeal. Notice of appeal and record on appeal, the appeal period is 30 days. No? Kasi normally pag ganito, maano kasi yung kaso. Mahirap talaga yung kaso kasi maraming stages and everything, no? So, mas mahaba yung period to file an appeal. Okay, so doctrine of residual jurisdiction, no? For rules 40 and 41, prior to the transmittal of the original record or the record on appeal. Kasi nga galing sa original court yan eh. No? Pwedeng MTC, pwedeng RTC. The original court may issue orders for the protection and preservation of the rights of the parties which do not involve any matter litigated by the appeal. Okay? Next, approved compromises. Ito po yung mga provisional remedies. Okay? Like attachment, preliminary attachment, 'di ba? Ang preliminary attachment, pwedeng magkaroon ng preliminary attachment until there is an entry of judgment. So hangga't walang entry of judgment, such as nag-appeal, o di wala pong entry of judgment, so yung original court, pwede siyang mag-issue ng writ of preliminary attachment during or after the judgment and during the appeal period. Pwede. Okay? And even after the perfection of the appeal, as long as the records, hindi pa siya natatransmit sa higher court. Okay pala, to make this clear, tandaan nyo, gaano katagal ang residual jurisdiction? As long as the records of the case are not transmitted to the higher court, the original court can exercise residual jurisdiction. That's the first principle. Second principle, what are covered, okay, by this residual jurisdiction? Una, issue orders for the protection and preservation of the rights of the parties which do not involve any matter litigated by the appeal. So, as example nga, preliminary attachment. Kasi nga, preliminary attachment can be issued until there is an entry of or at any time before entry of judgment. So, yun. Preliminary injunction, di pwede. Kasi meron ng judgment. Di ba? Ang reconing, ang extent po ng preliminary injunction, di ba? Until judgment or final order. May judgment na kasi mag-a-appeal na nga, so di na pwede. No? Okay, approve compromises, permit appeals of indigent litigants, order execution pending appeal. Allow withdrawal of the appeal. Malamang. Okay. For Rule 42, this also applies. Rule 45, this also applies. For Rule 43, it will depend upon the rules of procedure of the corresponding quasi-judicial agency. Kasi nga, bago ka mag-appeal sa CA, nasa quasi-judicial agency yung kaso. So, depende po. Hindi na kayo matatanong dyan. Kasi di naman inassign sa bar syllabus yung rules, no? Nang sabihin natin, ng Civil Service Commission, di naman eh. Okay na yan. Certification against forum shopping, pakitandaan po, notice of appeal and record on appeal, wala pong certification against forum shopping. Pero lahat po, 42, 43, 45, pakitandaan, mayroong verification and certification against forum shopping. Okay? Next tayo. Review as a matter of right and review as a matter of discretion. Tandaan po natin, 40 and 41, the appellate court must review the case. No? Di pala the appellate court. For rules 40 and 41, review by the appellate court is a matter of right. No? Ano po ibig sabihin yan? Dapat po yung appellate court, i-check niya talaga yung records nung case. Okay? I-check niya talaga. Kailangan niya i-check. I-check niya talaga. Kailangan niyang i-check. Duty bound. No? Pag Rule 42, 43, and 45, hindi po. Review by the appellate court is a matter of discretion. Kung makapansin niyo po, bakit? Pag maalala niyo po, no, 40 and 41, ipa-file mo yan sa original court and then yun sila na bahalang mag-process niyan. Iakyat yung kaso sa appellate court and so on and so forth. No? Ang pagkakaiba po niya sa 42, 43, and 45, ang 42, 43, and 45, ipa-file mo yung kaso sa appellate court. Di ba? Wala pa po yung record. Nagpa-file ka na sa taas. Ang mangyayari dyan, pag na-given due course yung petition mo at saka mag-order yung appellate court to obtain the records from the lower court, iba. Sa 40 and 41, iakit na talaga agad. 'Di ba? Wala nang due course pa. Iakit talaga and then the higher court will determine kung denied or granted yung appeal. Ang 42, 43, 45, iakit mo sa taas. Wala pang wala pang records, wala pa yung mga TSN and everything. Ikaw gusto mo, ikaw mag-attach ka. 'Di ba? Pero hindi yung galing sa trial court talaga. Sa original court. Pag pinagbigyan ka, o sige, tama naman po, sufficient in form and substance yung petition for review mo o yung petition for review and certiorari mo, given due course, at saka pa lang po, mag-o-order yung higher court, kunin na natin yung record sa lower court, at saka po yun na yung process. Okay? That's the difference. Kaya yung 40 and 41, matter of right. Yung 42, 43, 45, matter of discretion. And also, kaya nga ang 40 and 41, ulitin ko, hindi kailangan ng verification and certification against forum shopping, while 42, 43, and 45, kailangan ng verification and forum shopping. Okay, delete to. Yan. Appeals from judgments or final orders of the Sandigan Bayan. Decisions and final orders of the Sandigan Bayan shall be appealable to the Supreme Court by petition for review and certiorari. Okay? Raising pure questions of law. Court of Tax Appeals, tandaan niyo po, iba yan sa tax, no? CTA division muna. Anyway, ito, maka-cover nyo naman to sa taxation law na, so matatackle to next year pa, no? CTA division muna yan, and then CTA and bank, and then Supreme Court. From CTA and bank to the Supreme Court, petition for review ulit on certiorari under Rule 45. COA, Rule 64 yan. Ito na tayo. At saka COMELEC, Rule 64. We will discuss this later. Kasi kasali po siya sa syllabus for remedial law. Civil Service Commission, nabanggit ko na, Rule 43. Ito pong sa Ombudsman, uulitin natin to sa criminal procedure. Specifically sa preliminary investigation. No? Kasi investigatory function, meron ng Ombudsman, meron din siyang investigatory in nature at saka meron siyang quasi-judicial in nature na powers eh. No? May admin case, may criminal case. No? In criminal cases, the ruling of the Ombudsman shall be elevated to the Supreme Court by way of petition for certiorari under Rule 65. Okay? So, sabihin natin, mayroon do probable cause. There is a finding of probable cause ng Ombudsman. What's the remedy of the respondent? Kasi may probable cause nga, so mapafile na siya ng kaso, no? Ang remedy niya is to file a motion for reconsideration with the Ombudsman. Pag na-deny yun, certiorari to the Supreme Court. Tatlo pong senaryo to. Paano pag admin case naman? Tapos, ang ipapa-review natin, yung mismo ruling na ng Ombudsman. The remedy is petition for review under Rule 43 of the Court of Appeal. So, quasi-judicial agency. Yung ano niya, parang function. Quasi-judicial function. Okay? And tandaan nyo, ruling of the Ombudsman was elevated. Okay? Paano naman ulit? Quasi-judicial function ulit, pero interlocutory order. Basic po. Di ba? Pag interlocutory order, that is not appealable. That's why hindi pwede ang petition for review under Rule 43 dyan. Kasi wala pa namang final order that completely disposes the case. Interlocutory eh. So ano ang remedy mo? Petition for certiorari under Rule 65 with the Court of Appeals. So tatlo pong senaryo to, iba-iba lahat ang sagot. Yung isa, certiorari Supreme Court. Yung isa, 43 Court of Appeals. Yung isa, 65 Court of Appeals. Iba-iba lahat. Okay. NLRC, certiorari din siya CA. Okay. Pag voluntary arbitrator, kung ano nilagay dito, pag voluntary arbitrator, 43 CA. Okay? Petition for certiorari under Rule 65 kapag NLRC. Pag voluntary arbitrator, petition for review under Rule 43 CA din. Okay? Now let's go to Rule 64, no? Review of judgments and final orders or resolutions of the COMELEC or COA, no? So under Section 2, Rule 64, no? A judgment or final order or resolution of the COMELEC and the COA may be brought by the aggrieved party to the Supreme Court on certiorari under Rule 65, except as hereinafter provided. So the proper term that you may use in the bar is petition for certiorari under Rule 64. Okay? Petition for certiorari under Rule 64. Okay? Iba yan kumpara sa Rule 65. Okay? Kasi yun ang sabi sa Maritime Industry Authority versus COA. Ayan, no? The aggrieved party can assail the decision of the COA through a petition for certiorari under Rule 64 with the Supreme Court. Okay, no? So, dahil nga petition for certiorari din naman ang pangalan, nung petition, kailangan meron ding grave abuse of discretion. Kung walang grave abuse of discretion, dismiss ang petition, di ba, to the Supreme Court. No? A petition under Rule 64 may prosper only after a finding that the administrative agency committed grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction. Okay? This is a limited review, no? of this is a Rule 65 petition is a unique and special rule because it commands limited review of the question raised. In relation nga ito di ba? Rule 64 in relation to Rule 65. So, sa Rule 64, grave abuse of discretion din dapat. Hindi pwede ang question of fact, question of law, or mixed questions of fact and law lang. Kailangan may grave abuse of discretion. Okay? Further, findings of fact of the commission supported by substantial evidence shall be final and non-reviewable. Questions of fact and law are not to be raised in this petition. Okay? When's the time to file this petition? No? Kung meron na tayong brief background, no? Sa Rule 65, ang period is 60 days. Tandaan po natin. On the other hand, sa Rule 64, 30 days lang po. No? From notice of judgment or final order or resolution. Next, sa petition for certiorari po, merong fresh period rule. No? The 60-day period will be reckoned from the notice of the denial of the motion for reconsideration. Sa Rule 64 po, wala pong fresh period rule. Ang sabi po sa Rule 64, if the motion for reconsideration is denied, no, the aggrieved party may file the petition within the remaining period, but which shall not be less than 5 days in any event reckoned from the notice of denial. So sa 65 po may fresh period of 60 days. Sa petition for certiorari under Rule 64, remaining period lang po. But it cannot be less than 5 days in any event. So halimbawa, na-file yung motion for reconsideration, no? 27 days na ang nakalipas, no? So may 3 araw na lang na natitira. Sabihin natin na deny yung motion for reconsideration, how many days will the would-be petitioner have, no? In order to file the petition for certiorari under Rule 64. He will have 5 days kahit na naka 27 days na siya. Kasi sabi dyan, it cannot be less than 5 days in any event. Reckoned from the notice of denial. Okay? O yan, ang dalawang important dyan. No? Thus, for petition for certiorari under Rule 64, the filing of the motion for new trial or reconsideration interrupts the running of the period to file the petition. However, wala pong fresh period rule kasi may pa-file lang yung petition within the remaining period which cannot be less than 5 days in any event. Okay. What's the remedy for interlocutory orders of the COA or the COMELEC? Kung makikita nyo po, ang sabi lang po sa Section 2, Rule 64, decision, final order, or resolution lang. Tandaan nyo yan. At yun din po ang title ng Rule 64. Ang title po ng Rule 64 is Review of Judgments and Final Orders. So ito po, yung order that completely disposes of the case. Completely disposes the case. Paano naman po ngayon if the order does not completely dispose the case? In short, interlocutory order. Ano ang remedy mo? Rule 64 pa din ba? The answer is no. Hindi na po Rule 64 pag interlocutory orders by the COA or by the COMELEC. The proper remedy is petition for certiorari under Rule 65 na to the Supreme Court. No? Kasi 64, it only governs interlocutory orders. Okay? Ay, final orders. Interlocutory orders, 65. Supreme Court din. Okay? Hindi po Court of Appeals, no? To repeat, the remedy for the final judgment or order of the COA COMELEC is petition for certiorari under Rule 64. For interlocutory orders, it is petition for certiorari under Rule 65. In both instances, no, petition must be filed with the Supreme Court. Okay. Okay. The ruling of the COMELEC or the COA is not stayed by the filing of the petition for certiorari under Rule 64. No? Kasi nakalagay din naman sa Section 8, Rule 64 yan. The filing of the petition shall not stay the execution of the judgment unless the Supreme Court directs otherwise. So, kailangan merong in-issue na writ of preliminary injunction or TRO yung Supreme Court. Pag wala, tuloy po yung execution ng judgment, ng final order ng COMELEC or ng COA. Okay, so ito po yung iba pang mga distinctions no, between Rule 64 and Rule 65. No? Natakal na natin to. Natakal na natin tong dalawa na to. Ito na lang isa pa. No? Ang Rule 64, it's only directed against the judgment, final order, resolution of the COMELEC or COA only. No? Rule 65, any tribunal, corporation, board officer, or person, whether exercising judicial, quasi-judicial, or ministerial functions. Meron pang expanded certiorari eh. Pero expanded certiorari, probably itatanong sa inyo yon sa consti na, sa poly, hindi na dito. No? Yun yung mga pwede ka mag-certiorari ng law, di ba? To determine the constitutionality of the law, executive order, and so on. Okay. We will move to application of the fresh period rule. So 40, 41, 42, 43, 45, appeals in criminal cases, saka Rule 65, meron pong fresh period rule. Okay? Rule 64, wala. Okay? As said there, administrative appeals such as yung from HSAC arbiter to HSAC Board of Commissioners, dati HLURB yan. Ngayon HSAC na ang initials, no? However, the fresh period rule applies to the appeals to the office of the president. By the way, ito nilagay ko na lang dito, pero hindi ito matatanong sa inyo kasi wala namang inassign nga sa inyo na implement ng rules of procedure for quasi-judicial agencies. Wala naman eh, 'di ba? We stick to the basics eh, 'di ba? The rules of court. So kung tatanggalin natin 'to, so pwede na natin tanggalin 'to eh. Yan na lang. Oh. Kasi di nga naman din kasali. To avoid confusion na din. Isang beses lang po, no? Once lang yung instance na walang fresh period rule. In all other instances, 40, 41, 42, 43, 45 criminal cases, kasi nga appeals in criminal cases, i-apply mo din to sa taas. Ano ang mode of appeal sa criminal cases? You follow kung ano yung sinabi sa civil procedure. Okay? Anyways, sa Rule 65, petition for certiorari, lahat sila may fresh period rule. Okay. We're done with appeals, no? So, next natin, dito na tayo sa remedies after the judgment became final and executory, no? Relief from judgment at saka annulment of judgment.